Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. In our first hour, we're going to have Intel on our Intel sponsor hour. We have actually two guests from Intel, and each
1 minute until showtime.
in their half hour. And then, of course, hour two, we'll have computer and technology news. That's brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. With Intel, we're going to be discussing those brand new displays that they have at Best Buys that Intel is partnering up with them. I'm going to be talking about that. And then the second half hour, some of the cool technology ideas that Intel provides. We're going to be talking about what's great for the holidays. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. We'll be starting in less than about 30 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it's a Wednesday edition of the Computer America Show. You know what day it is. I won't say it, but we all know it. And
You just did.
yeah, I did, exactly. Intel is our guest for the very first hour. That's right. That's it. They're going to be here with us for the first hour. And, of course, in hour two, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. And we have not one but two guests from Intel. So in the first half hour, we're going to be talking about the Intel Experience Zones. If you've recently been to a Best Buy, you've seen them. And we're going to talk about to David Harris, who was Intel's experiential marketing manager, about what Intel is doing and what the objective of these experience zones are, and how they can help you and the consumer, the general consumer. So let's get to it. Anything else you want to quickly mention, Ben, or should we just get started?
Probably just jump into it.
Okay. Well, let's do it. Okay. So Intel, as I said, is here tonight. It's the Intel Sponsor Hour, and each month we have an Intel representative speaking on new Intel product services and news stories. Tonight we're going to be talking about the cool new Intel Experience Zones that you can see in your local Best Buy stores, and we're going to talk about what makes them a totally unique experience to the consumer. All right, now here with us is David Harris. Dave is Intel's experiential marketing manager. Dave, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, Craig.
What is an experiential marketing manager? I've never heard that before.
Yeah, well, it's a new form of marketing. I think the term experiential has kind of been loosely used, but it's what everyone's trying to do. Everything's become an experience, and at Intel, we're trying to, one of our challenges is we have technology that's inside many of your devices, hopefully you bought over the years and will continue to buy. But, it used to be about speeds and feeds and megahertz and gigs and everything else, but at the end of the day, it's really about the experience of using that particular device. So experiential marketing is how can we let people, our consumers who don't have access necessarily to the latest and greatest technology, and let them feel it, let them play the game, let them feel how responsive it is. It's challenging to do. It's, in today's marketplace, you're looking online, you're a little bit of word of mouth, you see something on social media, but, this is hardware, there's a lot of performance there,
Sure.
and without actually picking it up and using it, you don't know what it is. So
Yeah.
experiential marketing is trying to bring that experience to the consumer.
It's like trying to buy a car online. You want to go and kick the tires and get behind the wheel. You just don't want to go online and buy it. You want that. You want that
Oh, so you like kicking your phones?
touch-feely, exactly, experience. So I certainly can understand that. But now, here's the thing. I went into a Best Buy the other day and saw the coolest new Intel Experience Zone in the store. So can you tell us a little bit about the Intel Experience Zone and why Intel partnered with Best Buy to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with Best Buy, and we've actually carved out space in 50 select Best Buy stores across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And in that space, our intention is to deliver what we call wow moments, where, again, as an employee for Intel, we go to the shows, we see in the labs, we get to see things people don't get to see, and there's just constant stream of amazing technologies and innovations that come out. And we want to bring those to your everyday consumers. A lot of cool stuff. I think the model we looked at was CES. It's one time a year. It's one town. People come from all over the world, and they see the latest and greatest, and they are absolutely blown away. And our thought was, how do we package that up and take it into a place across the country? And we reached out to Best Buy, and they love the idea. So we work with them, and within these 50 stores, we're trying to package up that CES kind of wow moments that you see from that, and bring that not just one town, but 50 of them, and not just one time a year, but every day of the year, so they can come and see and try out the latest and newest cool technologies.
Oh, okay. So, and so it's about 50 Best Buys, you say. So now we've all gone into the malls and different stores, and we'll see these little booths and things that they set up. Why don't you tell us what makes the Intel Experience Zones unique from installations in other stores?
Yeah, we really focused on the term experience, and really using that in the literal sense. So we created a couple different venues where you could actually take the products, not just, we definitely like, with things like 2-in-1, it's great to be able to, convert the laptop into the tablet and vice versa. But then we kept asking ourselves and challenging us, what more though? You're in a store, you're under fluorescent lights. We got to take you to a new immersive experience where you're going to really get a test drive of this thing. Mm-hmm. You can't drive these off the lot like you can your car example before.
Sure.
So there's a couple different venues that we've set up where you can actually play an augmented reality game. So the processor inside your tablet, we can tell you how fast it is and that it matters, but you probably won't really believe me until I actually show this to you. So we actually have within the experience, the Intel Experience, a Mars planet that sits there. It looks a little out of place in a Best Buy store, but and that's kind of draws a crowd.
Yeah.
As you walk up, you notice that the tablets, there's a tablet sitting there, and then there's an invitation to play a game. So you pick up the tablet, you look through the rear-facing camera, and you can see the planet sitting right there. But then all of a sudden, you realize that there's some digital virtual buildings and a pad, and augmented reality takes over, and now you've got the blend of the virtual Mars rover that you pick. Wow. And now you have a game where you're racing around the planet trying to hit these pods before this asteroid field comes in and blows everything up.
This sounds like something you would see at the CES or something, but here.
Yep. Yeah. And yes, that's absolutely the intention. And it's amazing to watch people come up, and it's just so it's a blast for me to sit back and watch person after person come up, pick it up, and then when they have that aha moment, it clicks what's going on here, that they're actually playing a game that they can't see part of it until you look through the actual tablet itself. And it's something they've never seen before, something maybe they've heard of and heard the term augmented reality, but they actually get to put it in their hands and experience it themselves. And so a lot of smiles, a lot of laughing, a lot of, people calling their friends over to check it out and try to beat their score. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. I could see Ben trying something like this. This is something I would think would be really fun, because Ben is our gamer here on the show. He's our consummate gamer, and really likes playing this.
Well, it's just that it's one of the great things about games though is you really get to try out the hardware of what you're buying. It's not just you can check your emails and you can check the web page loads pretty fast, but to really check out the hardware, I mean it really is the augmented reality games and the competitive games, things like that. Just kind of show you how good is what you're buying.
That makes a lot of sense. Let me ask you this, Dave. Will consumers see the Intel Experience Zones all year round, or are they specifically set up for those shoppers looking for technology gifts for the holidays?
Yeah, we're actually looking to do this for the long term. So this will absolutely last through the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
Our intention is to, if we're going to continue to wow consumers and get people to have those amazing experiences, you know as well as I do this industry how fast things move, and before you know it, we're on to the next thing, and people are bored of this. What took 100 years for our the industry to create is boring 100 days later. So we're constantly going to be updating the space with the newest, latest, coolest, innovative technology experiences that are powered by Intel, so that we can condition people in these areas to kind of go back and give them one more reason to go into the store and see if there's something cool and new. And if it's Mars this month, and then a couple months later it's
Jupiter,
something with a completely different theme, that they have to come in and check out. And that's our intention. So we'll be there. It's a long-term program, and we'll see. We'll see how we'll have to leave it to the consumers to come in as many times as that's kind of the draw. I can't give too much about our roadmap on how fast these are going to come out. So keep coming in for more.
Isn't it great, Dave, that we work in an industry that has such cool things, and they come out so fast, and then you can make this available. It's just wonderful to be here. It just keeps things so interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So now you mentioned the Mars Reality game, and I just briefly saw this. Obviously, I'm going to go back and take a close look if it's in my area, and we need to talk about where these things are, because there's 50 Best Buys out of all the Best Buys that are out there. But there are different technologies featured in the Intel Experience Zone. You mentioned the Mars Reality game, but also you have like 3D printers and music remixing. Can you tell us a little bit more about each of these?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of our most popular experiences is around 3D printing. So now you used to use your laptop to design something 2D and it looked great in colors and Photoshop and everything else, and go to your printer. Now you go into the realm of 3D printing, and all of a sudden it becomes a completely different world. And every couple weeks I see some headline about something else. The latest was, I think it was earlier today, when there's some company who is creating 3D printing urns in the shape of your deceased loved one's head, the bust of them to be your urn.
Wow.
It's changing industries across the board. Some a little creepy, some more practical, some more fun. But the 3D printer term, this is one of those things where we're finding that most everyone's heard of them. They kind of get the gist of what it is. When they find out there's one in the store, then there is a kind of almost they beeline over to check it out and look at it. And people literally will sit there and stare and watch. It's almost like, it's magic. It's one of these wow moments where there's a plastic tray and a couple of printer heads, and the thing's moving around, and it keeps going, and slowly you start to see this object form right in front of your eyes.
That is
so we have create a robot experience where you can actually use some simple software to pick and customize what your robot might look like, and then you can look into the 3D printer and see the thing printing, and the reactions that some people have. Again, it's one of these things where when I observe this, it's such a joy for me to see the work that we put into this, and the amount of joy and amazement that comes across people's faces. This is probably the first time they actually saw a 3D printer, and now they're under $1,000, and Best Buy is actually selling these things and at a pretty good rate. So it's fun. It's cool. So that's probably the 3D printing probably is the one that people they've heard the most of, and have the most anticipation for actually seeing what they look like and what they can do.
I would look forward to seeing that, although I really want to see that Mars Reality game. But how about music remixing? You mentioned that as well.
Yeah, so with, it's interesting in how this industry changes other industries. When you look at music now, EDM seems to be the new craze right now with all the kids, and the new, musical instrument seems to be the computer. I just heard on the radio the other day an interview with somebody, a famous DJ, and they were talking about they crack open their laptop, and that is their studio. That's where they work on their music and their remixes and everything else. So we have a partnership with Neo, and we actually have a song that he has not released in the States yet, but he did give us access to it. So if there's any Neo fans out there, you can find one of these Best Buy stores and actually get the first crack at hearing one of his new singles. That will be out later, or I think early next year.
I really liked him in The Matrix.
And
it's okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
yeah. His albums are. He's big in Germany, I think, is what the saying goes. But yeah, so you actually get to, and again, we're trying to create an experience here. So the experience for this one is actually you walk up to this table, and Neo walks over and starts chat with you and says, hey, let's perform. Let's get on this Intel Power 2-in-1, and you can start to actually play with the tracks and do a remix on a stage. It's kind of a stage experience. He's out on the stage, he's dancing, he's singing, and you're the DJ behind him, and you're the one picking the tracks, and you're the one who's setting up the music and adding the bass and taking away the guitars and vice versa.
That is so cool.
And then there's actually there's a second one too. So if both you and Ben go in there, you can both experience at the same time. The second system, when you turn it into a tablet, you can actually what we call rock the light. So you have the ability to turn on the lasers, put on a laser light show, change the colors of the lasers. This is all in real-time video, so there's a ton of processing power going on, both in the 2-in-1s, and then the table is actually a state-of-the-art, again, potentially industry-changing retail fixture, 84-inch touchscreen, huge immersive backdrop screen. So it really does feel like you're on stage here, and you can hear the crowd. And if you play well enough, you can hype up the crowd, make the crowd will actually react, and you get these big cheers. And so again, it's an experience. You kind of forget probably for a second that you're in a Best Buy store, and our intention there is to, through these big experiences, is you start to be inspired to maybe think a little bit differently about technology, and maybe be inspired to not just be one that consumes technology, watches movies, and downloads 99-cent apps, but
you can actually participate.
Maybe get into playing music. Maybe try out that you've got that musical talent that people talk about, and maybe get one of these programs and try it out. It's so accessible now, the technology that allows you to do this kind of thing. So so that's our intention with these different gaming and 3D printing for creation, and then the music, and so I'm excited to hear about when you guys go down and see what you think about it.
I definitely plan to.
I always felt like my musical talents warranted a public performance. It's just finding the venue is so hard. So I guess Intel will be my first venue. So thank you.
We have 50 of them for you now.
All right, good. And hopefully...
Cross-country tour, why not?
We actually have a link to the article that does that at Intel. So if you go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com, you'll see today's show, November the 19th, and when you click on the Intel link, it'll actually take you to the Intel story that talks about these new experience open zones and the 50 Best Buy stores, and I believe it actually lists them, and you can see pictures of it. So we have that up there at computeramerica.com. Let me ask you this. I realize that we're not going to have enough time to get through everything here because there's so much to talk about. Let me ask you, any new consumer trends you're seeing in the robotics space, David?
Yeah, robotics is pretty exciting. It's I guess I'd call it part of this makers movement, or the do-it-yourself movement, where with open source software, with 3D printing out there's all kinds of technology to some degree has kind of been liberated. So you used to go to the store and you used to pick, if you wanted a robot, you go into your toy store, hobby store, and pick the one that,
or get a Roomba
on the shelf that you like best, and hopefully you have enough floors to vacuum to warrant the cost. But now all those components, transistors, boards, computing, processing power, connectivity, open source makes the software super easy, and a whole community behind it to help you through. You can actually assemble one of these together. So Intel is very behind, making technology accessible. If you've got a great idea, but you're not super technical, we're all about bringing those two together to bring that idea to life through technology and make it easy. So people are just on the cusp now. As 3D printing comes around, they can actually customize the shell for what the outside looks like, and then take those components. And now, because of this, all the things I mentioned before, it's relatively easy now to set up something to do what you want it to do, to make it, whether it's a very single function like the Roomba, like some vacuum your floors, or in the medical community, there are kind of medical-based robots where they simply come and remind you when to take your medicine, and it's no longer a calendar or something that you
Sure.
get to do. It's actually, you have this robotic thing that comes and finds you and delivers your pills or delivers your reminder. So people are doing some really cool stuff, and we're, again, just on the cusp of this. What I think this maker movement is just going to get bigger as people understand or are exposed to, and that's kind of what the Intel experience at these Best Buy stores is to reach out and kind of make contact with you with our brand and try to inspire you to find that creator or that musician that Ben is, or whatever that thing might be, that if you had some computing processing power and the know-how and the community behind it, you can actually bring this stuff to life, which, again, in this industry, 5 years ago, you probably couldn't have done it. 10 years ago, no way you could do it.
Exactly.
But now we're starting to come to a place where it is accessible, and it's becoming relatively easy.
Well, you mentioned a number of new consumer trends in the robotic space, but we kind of hone it down a little bit. What types of robotics does Intel foresee consumers needing or wanting?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, there's a number of different toys that are out there. The drones is one of the big things that some of us and at the company are very much excited about, and who wouldn't be? These things are pretty cool. We actually put on an event in the Phoenix area last week, and we had a couple of drones come in, and we flew them around the store, and people were just absolutely enamored with,
I can imagine,
what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the cameras in there, and then you can use a tablet to fly these around, and the video's coming back in real time, and you can use it to navigate or just to capture, and then video, use your editing software to, make your home movies, make whatever movies you're putting together, and then include aerial footage that you never would have been able to do before.
What kind of blew me? What kind of blew me away? There was the 4th of July. We actually put up someone had taken a drone and actually flew it through in West Palm Beach, Florida, through the big fireworks display they had, and the drone was zooming in and out of the fireworks. It was amazing. It was something like Superman would see. Somebody flying, actually going through a whole different perspective. It was just absolutely wonderful. So people are doing some incredible things with those, and yeah, you're right. I mean,
it's more than just those buzzwords that you hear on the news. They're actually pretty fun. Yeah,
exactly. And Intel is certainly going to be involved with that, with this cutting edge new technology. We have a little time. I want to talk a little bit back. I want to go back to 3D printing, because you mentioned that, and of course that seems to be the hot new technology right now. How would consumers use a 3D printer? I mean, what type of items could they create that would be useful?
Yeah, so right now there's a number of different applications that a consumer might use, and it could be anywhere from helping to create, express their creativity. There's all kinds of sculpture or things you can actually wear. Some of the pendants and bracelets and wristbands and things that you're able to do with a printer are allowing you to create, things that you would actually wear from a fashion standpoint.
Yeah.
So people are doing shoes, but even the one that's on sale for at Best Buy right now, you can actually create a wrist, something that goes around your wrist that's actually links, chain links that actually prints all one piece, and you can take that off and put it around your wrist, walk out of it. You can do different colors, you can do multiple, you can put them together. There's also things like, your daughter's, doll loses its shoe, and there's no way to get to the other shoe for that. Well, guess what? Now you can actually go on the internet, find a shoe pattern that's out there, download it, and now hit print, and now you've got shoe, the exact same replica of that shoe. You can print different shoes. All of a sudden, they have a shoe collection. If you're an action figure is something that you're interested in playing in, and then you lose the helmet for your guy. Well, you can same thing. You can go out and print a new one, or heck, you always thought it would be even better if it had an antenna or some horns, or it'd be a bigger helmet. You can design your own helmet. Now your action figure that you take to school the next day has a cool helmet that you designed by yourself, or that action figure, you lose the whole action figure and you print the whole action figure. But you know what? Let's put your face on that thing. So now it's an action figure for you. So as you go through this, you start to think about, gosh, almost anything's possible here, from creating your own toys, to your artwork, to something that you might wear.
I understand. Dave, that people are actually for the decorative parts for a card that they can't get anymore, or be very expensive. They're actually printing out, the little part, the plastic or part that would replace it. They could actually print those out on the 3D printer and use those. It's just
yes, yes.
There's a wide variety.
The spare parts world is Go ahead.
No, I said there's a lot of demand for that, and especially if you have an older or classic and you can't get the part anymore, or it costs a fortune. Use your 3D printer to print it out, and snap it in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
someone's going to 3D print a 3D printer.
We laugh about that, but they're already printing.
I think that's how the robots take over, when robots create robots. but the whole thing with 3D printers is, eventually you're going to get to the point where, especially if you give it to kids, you're talking about like action figures and toys and things like that. Eventually, if you give it to kids, they're going to get some kind of software to design their toys on, and then they're going to start actually, using CAD products. And then, lo and behold, if they enjoy it enough and they keep doing it, that stuff translates directly into, what people are actually doing every day, for careers.
Yeah, exactly. I know people new businesses are springing up that they just put out instead of templates, they actually put out the code, to if you want to build this, you can actually buy that and then download that into your printer, and the printer will print whatever it is that you've purchased. There are companies now that are beginning to do that. They're starting to appear. It's just amazing, some of the things that we're beginning to see. We're sort of like on the threshold of these different companies. Mm-hmm.
Yep, and some of the mediums, it's amazing. They can print metal now. The food industry, you can print in like sugar.
Yeah.
So if you're a baker and you want to put these real extravagant cakes together, you can print things that just with crazy kinds of articulation and design and detail. Or chocolate, you could print out your any letters or shapes or anything else. So every holiday now could look completely different than it has for the last who knows how many years. But industries and the way people think, and they think about manufacturing and business models and supply chains, it's all starting now. And again, this 3D printer at Best Buy and the Intel Experience is could be your first to kind of kick this off. And
that's made by Maker.
Who knows what you might do with it?
And that's a MakerBot.
That's a 3D. That's a 3D Systems.
3D Systems. Okay.
It's called the Cube.
The Cube.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's under $1,000. So I think this may be the first on the market. I'm not sure if that's 100% sure, but I think it's on the first on the market to come in at under $1,000. So
you must
be
in
time for the holidays.
Yeah, you must either really be hungry or you really have to design something very, very that's really special. But again, you can get to see this at the Intel Experience Zone. Now, I mean, Intel is always on the cutting edge. I mean, you're creating this amazing new technology, and we certainly here at Computer America absolutely love that. Can you tell us quickly or how consumers can find the Intel Experience Zones in their area, the Best Buys? How do they know?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to bestbuy.com/theintelexperience.
Okay.
And you can get an online version of kind of what was described today in today's show. And then if you go to Find an Experience link, It'll ask you what state you live in, and then it'll tell you what you have available in your local area.
Okay, and they're starting off in 50 different Best Buys. Do they plan to expand it in the future?
Yeah, we have not determined the expansion plan, but we're just literally launched just over a month ago. And we've got great so far. We've got some really positive responses on it. But yes, if this thing takes off like we think it will, and hopefully you guys can get down there and agree with us, then we'd love to see this expand.
I'm hoping I'm sure between Ben, myself, and his brother, we'll find one somewhere where we can actually go check it out, and certainly plan to do it. Again, as you mentioned, bestbuy.com/ was it Intel Experience?
It's bestbuy.com/the Intel Experience.
The Intel Experience. Or again, go to our website at computeramerica.com, and our show notes page. We have a link there too, and we'll put up the other link as well. David, we're pretty much out of time. I want to thank you so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America, and thanks for being here with us. Really appreciate it.
You bet. My pleasure.
All right, and we're going to have again. We're going to continue on with Intel. We're going to have Intel's George Vergara talking about holiday gift shopping items. We're going to be right back after these words. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No hair removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No hair removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented Thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Ah, there you are. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Mio Link Heart Rate Monitor. There's almost nothing to using the Mio Link Continuous Heart Rate Monitor. Charge it up, fit it into its rubbery wristband, wear it on your wrist, push a button to calibrate, and in seconds, it gives you a relative idea of your heart rate through a single multicolor LED.
Cool.
It's light blue when you're resting, then progresses through blue, green, yellow, pink, and red. An app lets you configure where your beats to minute range should fall. Well, guess that's the end of the colors, because if you push your heart past red, it may push you past dead. It can send data via Bluetooth Smart 4.0 or ANT Plus to fitness apps or compatible gear. Bottom line, with its wrist strap nest and no chest strap needed, a Mio Link Continuous Heart Rate Monitor lets you keep a beat on your beat, even when you leave your other gear back on the car seat. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour, and we just finished our conversation with Dave from Intel, and now normally guests go full hour, but still Intel, just a new
Yes.
guest and a new topic concerning Intel.
Right.
And this one is actually George. He is the global communication manager, and Craig, if you'd like to get him on, I think we want to talk about holiday shopping.
Yeah, he's going to talk about cool technology for the upcoming holidays. And George, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm good. How everybody? How's everybody?
Okay.
Great.
Great.
Got me off guard there.
Yeah. You listen. We saw that at the Consumer Electronics Association recently released their top purchase pattern study, which revealed that tech gadgets were again at the top of the list, and tablets, laptops, and smartphones highlighted the top 5 items, which I'm not surprised. I mean, that's basically it. So tell us a little bit of what are some of the hot Intel products for the holidays.
Oh, well, of course, we have every kind of devices, from tablets, 2-in-1 devices. We have Chromebooks, we have phones, we have wearables. So we have also portable all-in-ones, which is like the new form of the old computer, the old gray computer that everyone and I had in our homes. Mm-hmm. Has now evolved to this all-in-one, which is basically big screen, real high-power computer, and it doesn't has to be big in space. I mean, you can port and keep it in your kitchen, or go to the living room, mm-hmm. or to the bedroom, and you can play with the family. This is a very cool device, actually.
Sure.
Among the other devices that are more mobile, right? Like
yeah.
The 2-in-1s, the tablets.
So the all-in-one is really kind of focusing on that smaller footprint but greater power aspect of it all, right?
Yeah. It will be more like a home device. Okay. It will be like a family device. Everyone can storage their pictures, their music, and it will be like the center of entertainment for the home. So you can all have your own users, and you can all have your own settings, and maybe you can all play board games. This is the new way to play board games with your family. You can join family night and play the board game in the computer, and it's interactive, and it's a much better experience sometimes than the cardboard and the old classic way to play it.
Yeah, no, exactly. I love the fact that you can take it and it actually has little sensors in there, so you can actually roll dice on the surface, and it'll actually, you're kind of interacting with the real world items, and the computers were interacting with those items, and you're playing these great games.
Yeah, that's right. That's what makes like the experience much more complete. Touch screen and the sound, and the fact that some of these devices also have a battery now, mm-hmm. so you don't have to be connected to the power all the time. You can be a little bit mobile with those devices also.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many devices out there for the holidays. I mean, and we're just kind of scratching the surface here, and I want to talk about them. But do you actually have any recommendations that you have any favorites that you'd like to share with us, George?
Well, actually, I do. I'm more of a mobile user. I like this new 2-in-1s with our new processor Core M, mm-hmm. which is the processor that allows us not to have a fan in the device. So it's a fanless device, which makes it more light. It has a lot of power also, but a lot of mobility. You have like maybe an overall 11 to 12 hour battery life in these devices. They're very slim devices. They're very light devices. You will not be hurting yourself trying to carry these devices everywhere. I mean, mm-hmm. you can travel. You can, I don't know, work from a coffee shop, or maybe have a reunion with your friends and use these kind of devices, and you won't be also have to be wired to the power, and you will be able to have all the experience because they have touch screen, they have app capabilities. They're really cool, and actually I have a couple of examples of these devices.
Sure, tell us.
I don't know if you want me to talk about.
Yes.
One of the devices, one of the more beautiful that I think it is the Lenovo Yoga 3 Pro,
yeah.
which
It's
recently launched.
Love that. Yeah.
It's a really cool device.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really light. It's really powerful. It has a 13-inch screen, HD. The price point's really good. I mean, it's not the more cheap one, but it's affordable. And the things you're paying for much more technology, for a better experience, you're actually acquiring a device that's going to be useful for you. You're going to be able to do a lot of stuff. You're going to be able to create everything. I mean, play, draw, write. Even sometimes you can be editing music if you want, not in a professional way sometimes, but because this is a mobile device, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for amateurs, for people that use that as a hobby, you can do that. I mean, that's available. So it's really good. You can take notes. You can take pictures. I mean, you can basically do everything that you will be needing to do in a day-by-day situation. And there's another one that I really like, which is the Surface Pro 3, Microsoft Surface Pro 3. It's a really cool device also. It's a detachable, so you can use it as a tablet and keep the keyboard off, or you can use the keyboard for creating content. I mean, if you are a writer or something, you can easily attach the keyboard and start typing, and you will be having a seamless experience with that device. So those are my two favorites, but we also have a lot of more devices. We have tablets. Mm-hmm. We have a bunch of tablets actually for this holiday season. I can talk to you about, I don't know, we have this Acer Iconia Tab 8, which is a very cool device. It's a really good price point, and it's a really cool way of, I don't know, watching movies, make stream, playing games. Maybe you can use it when you're waiting at the airport, or maybe in the doctor's office while you wait for your appointment to be to occur. You can use it. You can play. You can read books. I mean, basically, it's kind of the device you will use for consume content. You can read your social networks, your feeds from Facebook, from Twitter will be available. And you can also do video phones or stay in contact with your family and friends. So I think those are the more cool things that you are available to do with this kind of devices.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't they also have one where it was like a tablet, but you have a phone in the back, so you can use it. You can snap out the phone and use that, and then plug the phone into the back of the tablet, and then you have a larger screen. Intel had something like that.
You were right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're right. The Asus Padfone X Mini allows you to do that. Actually, you have a phone, and whenever you need a bigger screen, you can attach to a tablet, and it's a Intel-powered tablet. So you actually have like two devices in one. And it's very cool because it's also really in a really good price point. It's actually intended for young people and for kids to do. You can actually give this as a gift for your children as a first phone, maybe, and it will be a really cool experience because you're not only giving them a phone with all the capabilities of a phone. You are actually giving also a tablet. And when they needed a big screen for, I don't know, playing or for creating stuff, they will be able to do that. It's a really cool device.
Yes, I know.
It's really
unlike anything I've
It's
actually
really one of the
unlike anything I've actually ever seen. It's really unique in that sense. And again, it basically, if when you're using your phone and it literally makes this phone screen bigger because you just plug the phone back into the back of the screen, and there you have it. Now you have a much larger screen, like a 7-inch screen on your phone. And then when you take it out again, you have your phone again. It's an amazing device. I have not seen anything else like it.
No, it's actually one of a kind. This device is new for everyone. So you can go. Actually, I think to the Experience Zone. I'm not sure if it's there, but you can go online, or you can go with some other retailers and check it out. It's really worth it.
Absolutely. Now, Ben, do you peek? Do you peek?
Well, yeah, I try. I mean, I'm not always succeed on that, but I'll try every year.
I want to see if Ben peeks. You know, Ben, my co-host. Ben, do you peek? I mean, okay. Well, you know, when you get a gift, I know Intel did a holiday survey about the holiday gifts. You know,
do I peek for gifts?
Yeah.
You know, no. Actually, I make a game of it, and hopefully someone give me a gift does not give me anything fragile, because I do the typical. How much does it weigh? Does when you shake, does it sound like broken glass? That kind of thing. But no, I don't peek.
You don't peek. Well, I understand you did. Intel did a holiday survey about peeking for holiday gifts. Can you, George, tell us a little bit more about the new holiday survey?
Of course, yes. We recently did one survey about it, and actually we had a little news we found out we found out that nearly 3 in 5 Americans picked as children through their holiday gift, and we also learned that 1 in 4 is actually still picking on that. I mean, as an adult, they still pick on their gift. So we thought this is very interesting because everybody wants to know what they're gonna get for Christmas, right?
Sure.
Or for the holiday they will be celebrating. So it's very interesting because this thing has made parents or people that's giving the gift to be creative on hiding the gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are finding out that some will be actually hiding the closet, under the bed, maybe in the car. Those are the most common places for hiding the gift. But people actually be more creative. Maybe we'll use a false floor, or maybe they will use a neighbor's house. It's actually very interesting how do people does that. And the only thing, and this is very interesting, I find it very interesting, is that we found out that almost no one will make sure that they're browsing when they are going to buy gift online. Almost no one will make sure that erase all the browsing history.
Oh, the history, yes, exactly.
That's a really interesting way of picking.
Yeah.
Because you can go to the family computer and find out if your mother has been into Amazon or one of the other sites and actually has bought or has looked at something for you to give you for holiday. So that's a very interesting finding that we had, and almost no one does that, and they don't really care, and they don't really think about it as a place for their kids to go and look for their presents for the holiday.
They turn on the history and they go back. Let's see where mom and dad have been, so we can figure out, what they're shopping for us. That is really devious, and certainly something of the 21st century.
Yeah, it's like things are really changing now, and kids are going really more online focused. So we don't have only to be worried about physical gifts. We also have to be worried about
online
story of browsing, the sites we are going to look the presents for, etc. So yeah, it's really interesting.
So mom and dad have to learn how to clear their history cache and turn it off.
It sounds like we're only, years away from some social engineering hackers hacking Santa to figure out who really is on that list. Naughty or nice.
Yeah, that's right. It's like kids have now their ways to find out, and they will, if they are curious about it, we need to be very careful of everything that we do now. Maybe even text messaging or something like that will be telling about what we are going to give them for gifts, right?
Yeah, exactly. That is really devious. Let me ask you, why did Intel conduct the survey? I'm kind of curious. What was the motivation behind it?
Actually, we wanted to look inside one of the traditions that people have for holidays, and we started asking the questions, and this speaking topic came up, and we find it very interesting to dig a little bit more about it, because as you know, for us and talking about technology, what's inside is the most important thing.
Sure.
So we needed to see if people would be actually care of what's inside their gifts, right? That's a really good example of why inside matters most, because the wrapping paper could be really great. You can have beautiful box and stuff, but what really is the important thing, the essence of the gift, is what's inside the bag.
Absolutely.
So actually, it's the same for us.
Yeah. So shaking that box and listening to it is not. I mean, this is the new high-tech way for kids to find out what they're getting. You know, I think that browser history is very clever, and kids are obviously clever enough to do that now. Let me add. I found that. What other interesting findings did the survey reveal, George?
We found out that 1/3 of Americans will be paying most attention to hiding actually technology gifts, because they are like maybe a more careful chosen gift, or maybe it's a little bit more easy to find out what the gift is because of the boxes. So they will be paying more attention to hide those kind of gifts, and not having their kids actually found out what it is, because it's a really good surprise, and it's an amazing surprise when you receive technology as a gift. I mean, a tablet, a smartphone, even a computer will be awesome for you to be receiving for a holiday gift. We also found out that 4 out of 10 parents had got their children picking the holiday gifts in past years, so they'll be actually more careful this year about it, and actually that's why they will be coming up with different ideas of hiding presents everywhere else beside the closet, the bed, or the car, right? Because those are the common places. And 5 out of 10 parents will be suspecting that their kids are trying to pick on the gift earlier. Starting right now, kids will be suspiciously trying to find out why are they getting for a gift. So it's really interesting, because even though we have this 21st century thing with the browsing story and etc., this tradition is still alive, and we don't really change the behavior. We will be still trying to find out in advance what are we going to be receiving as a gift. So this is really, really good thing to know, because we are focused on experience, and this is the kind of experience that people is living in this holiday. So we're glad we did that, actually.
George, Jack in our chat room says he should just use a do-it-yourself X-ray machine. And another suggestion, he says, it's another. He said this is another good reason to finish making that time machine, so you can go back and see what your parents are. See, you were getting.
Wow. Yeah.
20. He wants to add that to the survey. Now, okay, you have to tell us now. Do you have you ever peeked at your presents? Come on, now, just between you and me and the million or so people that are listening.
Well, yeah, definitely. I've did that. I've sometimes succeed on finding the presents. Actually, a cool story. One year, as a kid, actually, I woke up in the middle of the night. Everyone was asleep, and Santa Claus had come to my house, and he had left my gift, my brother's and my cousin's gift there, and we did left our shoes there for him to recognize which gift will be for everyone. So as I actually didn't like my gifts that much, I'll change the shoe to my brother's gift and my brother's gift shoe to my gift and go back to bed, actually. And then in the morning, everyone will be waking up, and my parents will be like, "Are you sure that's yours? Are you sure that Santa left that for you?" And I will like, "Yeah, of course. I've been sleeping the whole time."
You were a bad boy, weren't you?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. So I
exactly.
like it better the other way. So my brother was asleep. He lost.
Well, that just sounds like a normal brother relationship. So I commiserate.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this, because we're getting close to the end, top of the hour. George, were you, and this surveys that Intel did, were you surprised by any of the findings?
Well, actually, yeah. Actually, surprisingly, we think people as adults were less pickers. I mean, 3 in every 5 will do it. So we thought that as an adult we're like more conscious people and lose that tradition, but we found that that's not the case. And also it was interesting finding this browsing story, but because people doesn't really think about it, and I think this is one of the things that we need to start thinking about it, and like trying to be one step further than our kids and than the other people that we are going to be giving gifts in this season. So that's the most interesting thing I think we got on that.
Right, exactly. And so is the survey over now? Are they going to do? Is the survey finished?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's finished, and actually we have available the results for everyone who wants to take a peek. We have published in our newsroom the results in a very graphic way. So go to the newsroom at Intel.com and look at the
and we're gonna put those links in there. We're gonna put the links that David mentioned in the first half hour, and we're gonna put the newsroom link in our show notes page at ComputerAmerica.com so people can see the results of the survey. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let me ask you this. Where can anyone go to get more information about Intel holiday products, George?
Well, you can certainly visit our website, Intel.com. We also have a special address for people that trying to find out which device is the best for them to buy. So you can go to shop.intel.com, and we have there like a buyer's guide, and we have all the devices, the specs, and the things that we will be able to do, and you can mix and match the things that you need, and the site will come up with some results for you for the best device.
Okay, and again, and of course you can go to Best Buy too, and see. Of
course, if you are more this like trying and knocking on the device and try the touch screen and
sure,
weight it and stuff, you can go to the experience zone at Best Buy and actually have a really great experience on finding out which device is the best for you.
Have you been to the experience zone yourself? Because I haven't. I looked at it briefly. I'm going to go back and look and see it myself. But it's very impressive what you can see there.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet because I'm planning to do it actually next week.
There
That's
you go.
the time I'm going to start my holiday buying. So
Well, if
I'll be there, I promise.
if I bump into you, you will have to say hello at the Intel Experience.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, George, listen, thank you so much for being with us here tonight and telling us all about the survey and the all of the different things, the different products that are out there for the holiday gifts. Again, so many of them have Intel inside, and thank you for being with us here and letting our listeners know what to look for, giving them some holiday tips and for when they're shopping, because the holiday's literally around the corner. It's almost time. George, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much for being with us here tonight on Computer America.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, and have a great night.
And you too, sir. Take care. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, George. Thank you. All right. So there.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So there he goes again, George from Intel, and I think I got a couple of ideas for myself. I definitely have to go see that Intel Experience Zone. Definitely. I would think, Ben, you may get to see that Mars lander game. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it made me realize I hadn't thought anything about gift buying, so thank you for the rude awakening.
There you go. There it is. All right. Well, we've got another hour of the Computer America show coming at you here on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. It's we're going to do computer technology news. Ben's found some interesting stories for us here, and we're going to share them with you in the second hour. We're just going to take a brief pause, and then we'll be back with some of the news stories. Again, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software here on Computer America. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Keep your ears peeled.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben, wishing all of our listeners, especially those in Buffalo, hoping that you aren't buried under 8 feet of snow right now.
Oh, what is with this polar vortex and weather? It's just
It's
awful.
the lake effect. It's the lake effect. It's the moisture rising up from the lake, hitting the cold front, causes all the moisture to condense into snow, and then you get the lakefront snow effect, which is just piles upon piles of snow.
Well, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Of course, you're in Florida, so you don't have to worry.
I know I don't have to worry about it, but I can feel sympathy for others who I am not currently experiencing.
Yes, exactly. Well,
Poor Buffalo Knights, Buffaloese,
Buffalo.
Buffalonians. There we go.
Buffalonians? I don't know if that's what they call them, but
That's what they call them.
how about New Yorkers?
No,
Yeah, I mean, they're in Buffalo is in New York.
they're Buffalonians.
The Buffalonians. Okay. Anyway, thanks again to Intel, David Harris, talking about the Intel Experience Zones that are at Best Buy, and of course George Vergara, the Intel's Global Communications Manager, talking about their survey and some of the really cool items that Intel has for gifts. Again, if you missed any of that, you certainly can listen again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com. Just look for our archive. It's on every page at the top of any page. It says Archives. Just click on that, and you'll see we have our audio archives at Blog Talk Radio. We have the RSS feed. Also, the audio archives on Apple's iTunes. It'll take you to the iTunes page that has all of our shows. You can subscribe to the podcast. Well, actually, you'll open up iTunes, and then you can subscribe to the show, which is sort of like a podcast when you download the archives. You can listen to it. It'll download it to you automatically. We also have our video archives. We have our own YouTube page, so you can actually watch the show if you want to, and because we have the live video streaming page. That's all up and running. So just go to our archives page and check out all of the shows, and the ones especially that you missed. Okay. All right. Well, anything else you want to mention before we do our news?
Yeah. Apparently, the people in our chat room believe it's Buffalites.
It's Buffalites?
Not Buffalonians, as I.
Buffalonians. Oh.
Which I still hold to, but they say Buffalites. So agree to disagree.
Is that a picture of you in the door with the snow coming in? No, that can't be.
I don't happen to be anywhere. I don't congregate anywhere near snow.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's Buffalo right now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's just a. So you know, I like the little
feet,
snow.
Not inches. Not inches.
Yeah. We don't want feet of snow. We want maybe a couple. An inch is enough.
Dusting. No, this is
dusting. Yeah, a slight dusting of snow, just
crazy.
And which melts almost immediately. When the sun comes out. All right. Well, that said, again, no. But what was it? Did you see in 2000? There's going to be a new a Peanuts movie, Christmas movie.
Is it done in the traditional style?
Yeah, done the traditional. It's coming out, but it's coming out next year.
Like you can't have 3D Peanuts.
No, this Peanuts, but it's going to be out in Christmas of 2015. Yeah, it's left another year to wait. But there's the last of the trilogy of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, is going to be coming out in December, this coming month. So that's going to be fun. A lot of good movies are just around the corner, So I'm looking forward to seeing them. Some of them we have to wait for a while though. Mm-hmm.
And it's so weird that the holidays, Christmas and the winter months were traditionally dead times for movies. Not a lot of good movies come out in winter. And then, oh man, I can't believe I'm blocking his name. The gentleman who brought us Titanic and Avatar and.
Oh yeah, James Cameron.
James Cameron. Yeah, he was like the first one to say, okay, well everyone does it in summer, so I'm going to do it in winter. And he released everything in winter, and he made tons of money. So now everyone's doing the same thing. Because traditionally it's always a summer thing,
Yeah.
Summer blockbuster.
Yeah, no, James Cameron. I mean, I still think one of his best pictures was Avatar. I just really enjoyed that movie. I mean, I've seen most all of his. I still think it's one of his best. But hey,
Titanic wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it was more, I think, well, it was good. But I liked Avatar.
As someone who plays many video games, who reads many comic books, who watches many cartoons, Titanic was better than Avatar. 1,000%.
Really? Well, maybe because it came from real life. Maybe you can identify with
as a cinematic feature, it blew Avatar out of the water.
No, I don't think so. I think Avatar because Avatar came out much later and used so much more technology than they did with Titanic.
Doesn't mean it's better.
No, but I mean, if you looked at Titanic and the scenes that he did, you could see the little people that were.
I found no drama whatsoever in Avatar.
Are you kidding? It was all about the drama. I thought the story was.
There was no drama. I didn't feel any connection to any of those people.
No, I did. I thought that
whatsoever.
You missed the connection. I thought it was a really good.
I feel like it was like Dances with Wolves with blue people.
I like Dances with Wolves too. So.
I know, but it was.
Blue people. Well, the story is not an original one. Then again, what really?
They didn't even try. They're like, oh yeah, we need to mine this stuff. What's it called? Unobtainium. Yeah, all that stuff. Well, also say convenient plot story anium.
Unobtainium. Yeah, that was
they stopped trying.
No, they did. They tried. Hey, there's supposed to be a sequel to Avatar. They've already got that.
Oh, yeah, it made $3 billion before it left the box office. Why wouldn't they come out with a sequel?
Exactly.
If there was ever a green flag, to say, should we make another one? Yep.
Yeah, $3 billion. I think it's one of the all-time. I think
it's like the all-time.
Is it? Did it beat out Star Wars? Really?
No, it beat out. Titanic was number one.
And it beat out Titanic.
Yeah, James Cameron beat his own record.
So he has two of the movies that he did with that all-time.
Yep.
Wow. Well, of course we live in a different world now. So and then when I mean.
Apparently, brand new on Netflix. Anyone who's interested, there's a biography of, of course, Netflix. So it's a video. It's a biography of, oh man, what's his name? I just watched this last night, and now I'm completely blocking it.
How's that Alzheimer's coming in?
Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks.
Oh, Spaceballs. Okay, Mel Brooks. Yes.
Mel Brooks. And apparently, according to his biography, he thought, he was just trying to find another genre to butcher, and it just happened to be science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that, Spaceballs was going to be like the biggest flop of his career, like just a huge flop. It was like, just something that he did for fun. Turns out it's his highest grossing movie that Mel Brooks has ever done.
It beat out the what was it?
Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles was
Young Frankenstein. Name it. It's Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Well, who knew?
Yeah.
Well, because people like science fiction or parodies of science fiction, I guess.
People like Spaceballs. Which was a great movie. So I mean.
Is he going to make a sequel, Spaceballs 2?
No, I think he's working on the sequel to Springtime with Hitler.
Oh, that was a song.
It was a musical.
It was a musical. Yeah, exactly. Okay. That was from the producers. That was in the producers.
It was.
That was the show.
It was in the producers, and then they made a musical out of it.
They wanted to produce a play that they thought would be a flop, and it turns out it was the biggest hit on Broadway. It was a funny movie.
I haven't seen it though. I've not seen the producers.
Yeah. Oh, you should see the producers. It had Zero Mostel in it, and then
Gene Wilder.
Yeah. Then Gene Wilder. Then they had they did a Broadway show with. War Games. What's his name? The kid in War Games.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Matthew Broderick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did the Broadway play, but the movie itself is really, really funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, it's a whole biography based on Mel Brooks, and
well, I'm excited about.
The guy's like 90, and he's staying in there strong. He's doing good.
Yeah.
Just watching the biography, I mean, he has already. Just some of the best stuff. So if you're interested,
I'm excited that Netflix are going to have some of the TV shows like Daredevil, and we can actually.
Yeah, we did a story about that last night, and Craig hasn't stopped thinking about it since.
I want to see it. All right, let's do some computer news.
All right.
Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for nothing. That's right, nothing. It's completely free. I'm not kidding you. Go to slimwareutilities.com, and you're going to be surprised because everything on there is free. I mean, they're not modified, you're not crippled in any way. They're absolutely free, and I recommend you download all of them onto your computer and install them immediately. You're gonna love what they do for your computer. You're gonna be happy you did it, and you'll thank us for it. SlimwareUtilities.com. And let's lead out with the cord cutter news. Evidently, according to the story, Netflix has streamed. All right. Guess, how much do you think Netflix streamed? How much video did they stream in the first quarter, just the first quarter of 2014? You want to take a guess, Ben?
Let's see. There's about 7 billion people on Earth, and Netflix is in one country, based in one country. So I'm going to guess 3.
In the first quarter, just the first quarter of 2014, Netflix streamed 6.5 billion hours of video. And that basically, with an average quality of HD, that brings the total data sent by Netflix as 19,500,000 terabytes. 19,500,000 terabytes in just 3 months. That is an astonishing 6,500,000 terabytes every month. And at this rate, Netflix will use 78 million terabytes of data in the year 2014. That is one heck of a lot.
Jeez.
78 million terabytes of data in just the 1 year. Now, according to this story, this is a huge increase over 2013, when Netflix streamed only 4 billion hours of video, totaling 12 million terabytes of data in the first quarter of 2013, with an average of 4 million terabytes of video every month in the first quarter of 2013. So, in just 1 year, Netflix average data usage increased by 2,500,000 terabytes every month to 6,500,000 terabytes. And at that rate, Netflix will use 27 million terabytes of data in the first quarter of 2015. It's not, and this is amazing. This is an amazing amount of data.
It's weird though. Like, you think Netflix is like, okay, I pay for my subscription to Netflix, so I get unlimited videos that I want to watch, and here's what my selection is. Like, at least to me, it seems like Netflix is a very personal experience. It's like, it's my Netflix, I log into it, and I get my choices to what I've seen with my ratings, and my it's all about me. And then when you hear about, okay, well, worldwide, they're doing about 20 million terabytes. You're like, oh, wait, everyone is doing Netflix. It's not just me.
Wow.
Because Netflix doesn't really have a social aspect to it.
No.
It's not like, hey, join a group watching session with your friends or anything like that. It's all just, videos for one person.
Well, here, look, this incredible number, get this, it gets even more amazing, because all of this, what I just read to you, assumes people will stay with the 3 gigabytes an hour HD. 3 gigabytes an hour HD. If people start streaming, guess this, in 4K, well, the data per hour jumps to 7 gigabytes for every hour of 4K. So that alone could increase the total data usage to 45,500,000 terabytes of data every quarter, or about 15,160,000 terabytes every month using the first quarter in 2014 numbers. So that's if the 4K catches on. Now, he says, now we haven't even looked at YouTube, Hulu, or Amazon instant data usage. He says after that start adding in smaller services like Watch, ESPN, and HBO Go will really start to rack up the data. This explosive growth in hours viewed shows cord cutting is growing. So both in numbers of canceled cable TV bills and in the silently growing majority who watch less and less cable TV every month, this is just going to be huge. I don't know if is this going to break the backbone of the internet? I mean, this is really starting to get.
Why would it break the bone of the internet? Again, this is over the course of 3 months, and the backbone of the internet is actually getting upgrades that we've talked about on the show before.
That's true.
Where these simple little lines that you can easily hold in the palm of your hand could handle this kind of traffic without even hiccuping.
Yeah.
Like the backbone that we have is so verbose. Like, this kind of growth is what the internet needs, because if there wasn't a need for a stronger infrastructure for internet, then we wouldn't be getting higher speeds.
Yeah, this is very true, and
all this extra streaming is a good thing.
How do you think it makes people who still use dial-up?
They, and many of our listeners actually live in rural areas, and they're like, yeah, our local cable company won't run us a line unless we pay them the $12,000 to run the line or something like that. And it's like, it's everyone else. I can't imagine the feeling of being left behind, because that is essentially what's happening. You're being left behind because everyone is getting 100 megabits a second, 50 megabits a second, a gigabit per second, 10 gigs per second. You're getting these huge speeds, and then you're begging people for your 6 megabit per second connection. You have to feel like you're getting left behind.
Yeah, I think you are in a way. I mean, this is just amazing.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing these numbers compared to that of traditional television. Like,
Well, there's no, yeah, you see, but
not data-wise, but hour-wise. How many hours are... Because in the article it said 6.5 billion hours of video has been watched by Netflix.
well, see, they can meter it. You can't really meter TV. Well, although because still TV is over the air, and there's really no way to meter that. So, you know, true. I mean, there's really no way
do
to.
what you always did. You always take a small sample.
Yeah.
And you extrapolate it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
There has to be a number out there somewhere.
Yeah, but Netflix. I mean, but with when you watch it, when you're downloading data, that's completely metered. I mean, you can certainly tell right down to the byte how much. Oh, wait, Jack's leaving. I have to say night.
Okay.
I always miss him.
But no, it's you know, all this usage. I think they're right on the money when it says cable cutting is what's causing the spike. It's not, you know, data rates. It's not, you know, higher quality video, even though it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's cord cutting.
Yeah, it is cord cutting, and we keep covering that, and we keep monitoring that, of course, you know, and net neutrality and all these things that kind of tie in with this, and so. But it is fascinating. I never would have guessed that it was that huge number, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yep. And again, you know, you don't really have to worry about the internet blowing up or breaking down or crashing or anything like that.
Right.
It's meant to handle this kind of stuff.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. Had me worried there for a bit. All right. So.
Next story.
Yeah.
Looking through all the things I have open. All right. Well, how about this one? This one, you know, going from cord cutting to something that, you know, may interest you. Senate fails to curtail the NSA monitoring of citizens. Okay. Obviously, the title is kind of leaning, but we're going to read it anyways. This one from Popular Science, Dan Morin. An intelligence agency can keep collecting bulk phone data about Americans for now.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the NSA still has the authority to collect wide-ranging metadata about your phone calls, at least for now. A controversial bill aimed at reforming the intelligence agency failed to pass the U.S. Senate on Tuesday, with some arguing that it went too far in curtailing the NSA's power, and others contending it didn't go far enough. The traditional battle of, you're going too far, you're not going far enough. So at the center of what supporters have dubbed the USA Freedom Act, you know, has received a lot of controversy lately, is the NSA's collection of bulk phone information as revealed by whistleblower Edward Snowden. That capability, which for the last 8 years has been under the aegis of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, allowed the agency to collect and hold onto large swaths of data about who called who, for how long, and so on. The content of those conversations, however, was not captured. So they say, though, but I hear there's a giant data center out in the middle of
nowhere.
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere that is actually recording phone calls. So I believe that falls under the same agency. You know, so had the bill passed, the NSA would have had a much tougher time collecting information about the communications of American citizens. The agency would have required to specify targets of the collection of phone data, which would have to involve some sort of agent of a foreign power, or at the very least, a connection with a suspected agent of the sort. So, you know, they were kind of saying, hey, you know, if you're going to keep doing this, you got to at least pick a target. You can't just collect everything and then sort through it later. You're violating people's rights. You're violating people's privacy. Mm-hmm. You know, because the NSA has traditionally kept all phone records of, you know, who called who called, you know, when the call, how long was the call, where was the call placed, where was the call received. They were collecting all of that data, including yours. Yes, I'm talking to you. Your phone data was collected. You know, even though you weren't targeted, you were still being analyzed. So in addition, the bill also would have gone a long way toward increasing transparency of these activities. The action of the NSA and the FISA court would have to be reported more diligently to Congress and through them to the American public. Companies that were served with national security letters requesting information about their customers would have been allowed to provide more detailed stats on the request to the public. So that part of the bill is, hey, you know, we want to know what you're doing. You guys are shady.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty fair.
Okay.
You don't think?
Yeah, I'm not really big on but I have mixed reactions. I mean, one part of me says, I have nothing to hide, and yet the privacy issues that come up, but how much of it all boils down to how much of your privacy do you want to give up to feel secure? That's it. It's true on planes. It's true in phones. It's true in all this stuff. I think it all comes down to that same question, So.
And eventually, when you live in a society where everything is monitored and everything is tracked to such an extent that you are no longer,
Mm-hmm.
It's more than just walking out and don't want your picture to be taken. This is doing anything without your government knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trust me, I'm the last one to say government is corrupt and government is crazy, but still collecting everyone's phone data, analyzing it, and I've seen what they can do with this kind of information.
Yeah, it's creepy, but yeah.
It's creepy, scary, and completely invasive. It's if you don't want corporations doing it, because there was that huge scandal with Target sending out flyers for baby material, to a woman. And then her dad was like, whoa, what are you doing, Target? Why are you sending my daughter all this stuff? Are you trying to get her pregnant? And then she comes out and says that she's been pregnant for 3 months. So it's like, Target knew she was pregnant before her own dad did. So like, if you don't want corporations doing that kind of thing, why would you want your government on the same foot? So it kind of goes on a little bit more, but it's I think we're gonna wrap it up there just by saying it failed to pass 58 to 42, and apparently you need 60 in Congress to pass anything. So 58-42 failed, but it will, I'm sure, eventually come back up because it is a hot button topic involving technology, which we are.
Yeah, I know.
Eventually, Craig will then have an opinion about it.
I told you what my opinion was, but I want to do this story because it's on the heels of the Netflix story that we did, and I remember I said that it goes to the cord cutting and everything. Nielsen, I guess according to Maximum PC, Paul Lilly, Nielsen is evidently going to finally get with the times, and they're going to start measuring Netflix and other streaming traffic. That's right. A growing number of consumers are moving away from cable and satellite TV solutions in favor of streaming services like Netflix and Hulu Plus. So it makes sense in a lot of ways. Why pay a premium for a bloated TV package just so you can access the handful of channels that you really watch? That's a topic rant for another day. But in the meantime, Nielsen will start taking into account the viewing habits of streaming subscribers by measuring viewership data for online video services. Welcome to the 21st century, Nielsen. Jeez. They will begin making these changes effective next month, according to the Wall Street Journal. Though long overdue, it's not necessarily Nielsen's fault that subscription-based online video services weren't being accounted for. Services like Netflix simply refuse to share that kind of data, so an end around is needed. In other words, Netflix and these other really do have a handle, and it's not just a guesstimate. I mean, they have it down to the bite. How many people are watching them. They have all the information, unlike broadcast TV. I mean, they really have this, but they're not given it. Why should they? I mean, unless Nielsen wants to pay them for it. So anyway, as I said, they have to do a reverse engineering solution. So based on client documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal, Nielsen has a new measurement capability that will allow it to meter viewership data from services like Netflix and Amazon Prime all on its own. The technology works by analyzing audio to determine which show is being streamed. The downside to harvesting this data is that it could put more power into the hands of Hollywood when it comes to renewing contracts with streaming providers. It's not as though big media has been all that fanatic about embracing streaming services to begin with, and by knowing how much a show is viewed, they'll be sure to use that information during contract renewals. Think that's a good thing?
know. I think Netflix was kind of a good place because it's they have a huge audience, and I'll be the first one to admit that the lesser known on Netflix, it's easy for Netflix to bury content because there's so much stuff on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But even though maybe Iron Sky maybe watched 3 times a month, the lesser known videos are some of my favorite things. Things that maybe get 100 people a month, that maybe get 500 plays a year. Those are my favorite kind of things. It's the lesser known stuff. And as soon as you start putting ratings into it, Netflix first of all, Netflix already had all these numbers because they're Netflix. They can kind of see who's watching what and when and how much.
Yep.
But now that other people who are not privy to exact numbers from Netflix, I feel like it can hurt content.
Really? How?
It can hurt content because they're going to say, all right, well, if Netflix is only getting 300 rating, 300 people for this, and they want to negotiate us down, we're just going to say, forget it. It's not worth either of our time. Which, Netflix has a lot of great stuff that is very, very popular, but it also has a lot of great stuff that isn't very popular. So hopefully this doesn't hurt that aspect of Netflix.
Well, they're doing it without the sanction of Netflix anyway,
Well, that too. So, I mean, Netflix, I guess, really doesn't have to worry about it because if they ever throw out numbers that are completely off base, Netflix can very easily just say, just kidding, here are our real numbers, check it out. Netflix doesn't have to dance around it. They don't have just, good general numbers. They have exact pinpoint numbers.
They do, yeah.
So.
All right, you're listening to the Computer America Show on the Boost Radio Network, on the Blog Talk Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are doing computer technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We got lots more coming up. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hello, North America, and to those of you from North Carolina, nanu nanu. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Tungsten Customs Analog LED Clock. Now, this starts as a block of wood. roughly 3.5 inches, 4.5 inches by an inch. On the face of it, 2 concentric rings of 12 white LEDs. That's its face. When you plug in its wall wart, there's a single brightest inner ring LED to indicate the hour, and a pair, meaning both rings are on, as the minute hand. Now that's in 5-minute steps because, do the math, there are 12 of them. Its 4 modes govern a secondary use for that outer ring. It's either all on, or all off, or a swinging animated pendulum effect, or a sweep second hand. Its display is readable from a good distance, even in bright lighting. And it may mystify those among us who don't know how to read an analog time display, especially one without numbers. Bottom line, a Tungsten Customs analog LED clock is a charming blend of touch and tech that can make for a timely gift, especially at this time of year. This is Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 34 minutes past the hour. Thank you yet again, Marty Winston. And Marty Winston, if you're listening, good luck on your new show. And for everyone who doesn't understand that, we had Bell Ringers here last night talking about their new radio show, which Marty Winston will be a part of.
Yeah.
Sounds extremely entertaining. So, but yeah, right now we're doing computer and technology news, brought to you by the Slimware Utilities. Before we had, Intel Last Hour, great hour. You should go check it out, especially if you have a Best Buy near you. You'll figure out why because of that. And yeah, computer technology news. Just finished one about Nielsen, Netflix, and finally, hopefully Nielsen has jumped the bandwagon soon enough that it won't go down with cable TV. So
now, I have another story I want to do, or is it your turn to do one now?
It's my turn for sure. It's my turn.
All right, go ahead.
And okay, we're gonna do this one that seemed very true and yet odd at the same time, and I have a reason why it's true. But let's read the article and then we'll talk about it. This one, tech time. Shoppers just don't care about credit card hacks.
Huh?
Yeah, I know. So Target and Home Depot both reported great earnings reports this week. If Target and the Home Depot are still reeling from the collective breach of 96 million customers' credit card and debit cards, it didn't show in either company's earnings report. Target posted $17.73 billion in revenue on Wednesday, beating Wall Street consensus forecast of by $17 million. That paled in comparison to Home Depot's rosy earnings reported Tuesday, which showed store sales climbed almost 6% in the third quarter. Breaches? What breaches? So Target's Dataclysm receded into the rearview mirror as the company revealed the expenses related to the credit card data breach late last year had plateaued at $153 million. The market rallied around its stock, driving up the share price by more than 6%. The Home Depot breach, though, was bigger and more recent. The verdict? Quote, "We believe that the breach is finally behind Home Depot with the momentum heading into the fourth quarter." The assessment comes 2 months after Home Depot's September announcement that 56 million credit card accounts had been hacked and upwards of 53 million email addresses were stolen. The only major business fallout for the company, as far as analysts could detect, was a curious blip in traffic towards the Home Depot's chief competitor, Lowe's. Perhaps the breach provided some traffic benefit, but before moving on to the retailer's solid sales on growth. So, if neither shoppers nor shareholders ultimately punish big businesses for data breach, will companies move to prevent them before they occur?
Well, I understand that they are changing this. It used to be that that the businesses, let's say, when your credit card was lost and everything, and the consumer or the owners of the card weren't responsible, the credit card company was. But there's a change afoot that it's not going to be the credit card companies responsible. It's going to be the merchants responsible. And when that happens, I think then we're going to see some toe tapping here.
Yeah, because like it seems like every single debit card, credit card, whatever card that you can buy right now, all of them have a very strong policy on identity theft protection. If something pops up on your card that isn't normal, it's going to block the card, block the transaction, that kind of thing. And I think people just aren't scared of their credit cards or debit cards being stolen.
Well,
because there's so much protection out there.
Yeah, there is protection. That's true, and we don't. I mean, there's two ways to look at this. You can say, kids don't understand the value of money, and he lost his wallet, and he doesn't matter because his parents are just going to make up for it, But when they grow up and they go out and then they lose their wallet and they're responsible for it, not the parents anymore, then they become, okay, now I'm going to be a little bit more careful with my papers and documents and things that I have to carry around. I'm not going to, throw them out or in the washing machine or whatever. So that typically is what happens. However, and that's sort of the same mentality here. I think consumers feel, okay, well, if I lose my card or something, or if it's stolen, I'm not liable. As long as I'm not, liable, then they can be fairly cavalier with it. Although, you still don't want to, just.
Here's why I don't agree with that.
What? Say again?
Here's why I don't agree with that. It's not the customer who's taking their card and slipping it into the wrong pocket and it falls out on the street. It's not that. It's Home Depot getting hacked and their cards are stolen from Home Depot. It's not the consumer who is misstepping here.
No, who is misstepping?
Home Depot. Home Depot, Target, corporations. They're not doing enough to protect their shoppers' information. I mean, Craig, if someone hacked you and took all of our sponsors' information, you can call up your sponsors and say,
it appears you're calling back into the live show. We are reconnecting you now.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
If someone hacked into Computer America and said, and took all of your clients' information, are you going to say, are you as, Computer America going to tell all your clients, you guys should really beef up your security. You guys are getting hacked. Or are you ultimately the one at fault? It's not about some kind of childlike mentality of losing your wallet. It's companies are losing their customers' information that's getting stolen from them.
And they have to be, but in this particular case, it wasn't the company's fault, though, right? I mean, it was
totally the company's fault.
Oh, I thought it was nothing they could have done. I thought it was something that if it was totally the company's fault, then they and the point is that now they're going to be responsible and not the credit card company. I think that's going to.
But at the same time, the credit card companies have a very strict, if you get, if you are the victim of identity theft, we have your back. It's just standard. So I think, yes, companies should definitely do more to protect their customers, and protect their information. But at the same time, I feel like people just don't care. They don't care because they know that, Bank of America, SunTrust, MasterCard, whoever you bank with has their back and is not going to let their money get stolen. So that's why you didn't see that's why you didn't see any dip in sales for Home Depot. That's why you didn't see any kind of repercussions for Target. It's just people are like, oh, okay, well, maybe my bank issues me a new card. That's good to hear. We're done here.
Okay. All right. Well, so what do you think? All right. So what do you think? Do you think this is going to make them more careful about doing this thing?
Honestly, I think it's just more of a telling thing about our. It's more of a telling thing about our society as a whole. It really is. I mean, money. If someone broke into the bank and stole, $2 million, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? But now that all money is pretty much electronic, they're stealing debit cards and credit cards. It's just numbers on a computer, and as long as, okay, on Monday you had $1,000, on Tuesday your identity was stolen and they just withdrew $1,000. On Wednesday, your bank covered you and reimbursed you. You have $1,000 again. You know, if someone stole $1,000 right out of your hand, yeah, you'd be freaking out. You'd be going like crazy. You'd be going to cops. You'd be, you know, I'd be hysterical. But with banks, it's just, you know, it's,
all right, Jonathan.
they have my back.
Jonathan in the chat room says it's the customers trusting the store with their credit card info. Thus, the responsibility falls on the store's shoulders. He says, but I still use virtual card numbers when I shop online, which is a smart thing to do, Jonathan. Yeah, exactly.
But that's exactly it. You know, it's not the, you know, the customer trusted the company with their information, and the company lost the information. So, you know.
Okay.
It's more telling of the whole situation that people don't care. People just do not care about credit card hacks.
Okay. Well, that may be the case.
Honestly, at this point, you know, the way that credit cards work, you know, credit and debit cards, the way they work, that's probably a good thing. You know, it's so easy to put a stop payment. It's so easy to track down money. It's so easy to, you know, verify if this is a legitimate transaction. It's a good thing that people don't care if their credit card is stolen. You know, it's not the end of the world. Go on with your life. Have your bank send you a new card. Your money is completely fine. That is all a good thing. This is perfect. This is what we want.
I'm going to start using Apple Pay. Not worried about it.
All right. Well, let me know in 2 years when you find someone to use it with.
I will. Okay. Hey, you know, remember the BlueBerry? They had that new thing. It was a little handheld that would kind of save the company. It was kind of square in shape and everything.
What?
You remember it's their phone. It's the
BlackBerry, not Blueberry.
BlackBerry, yes. Thank you.
Blueberry. I was like, they make yogurt, right? Yeah, they make frozen yogurt.
I just wanted to see if you were paying attention. Anyway,
Sure.
Maximum PC is it just does this story here. Again from Paul Lilly, entitled "You're Such a Square." Evidently, the monitor itself. We're always so used to seeing high-definition monitors with the theater, you know, and the 16 by 9 aspect ratio. You know, it's the rectangle on the side. It's longer than it is taller. Well, guess what? They're coming out with a monitor that's square. IZO's, not Vizio's, but IZO's, E-I-Z-O, square-shaped FlexScan EV2730Q monitor, catchy name, features a 1920 by 1920 resolution. That's right, folks. It's square. A square monitor. Now, most users shopping for a new monitor will choose between a widescreen or an ultra-widescreen panel. Well, the ultra-widescreens are really cool. But have you ever thought about going square? Probably not. Though IZO hopes you will after seeing its latest display. Okay, the FlexScan is a 26.5-inch square monitor with a 1920 by 1920 resolution with a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. Yes, that's wide all around. It's square. With regards to screen real estate, it has 78% more pixels than a standard widescreen, a 1920 by 1080 monitor. Wow. So he asked the question, I guess as I would, what's the point? Well, IZO says the added vertical space is convenient for displaying large amounts of information in long windows, resulting in less scrolling and a more efficient view of data. Basically, combining the best of both worlds in terms of portrait and landscape mode. Well, there is no more portrait and landscape with this because it's square. IZO says this makes the monitor ideal for displaying information such as CAD or program development data with a more complete overall view on the screen. Makes sense. It's a nice looking monitor, by the way. The monitor uses the non-glare IPS panel with generous viewing angles. That's 178 degrees horizontal and vertical. IZO claims a 5 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, 1,000-to-1 contrast ratio, and other features consist of a 2-port USB 2.0 hub, built-in 1-watt speakers, 3.5 millimeter stereo and headphone jacks, DisplayPort, DVI connectivity, and a flexible stand with height adjustment, tilt, and swivel. IZO says the FlexScan EV2730Q will be available in the first quarter of next year. and there's no word on the price. Now, does this appeal to you? I mean, look, they actually compare it. They show it side by side with the standard monitor, full HD monitor and the FlexScan. Does this appeal to you?
This is a weird one.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm not adamant that the traditional rectangle on its side monitor is the best. It's just what we're used to. And just because you're used to something does not mean it is the best of something. So, I'm not throwing the idea of a square monitor out the window. Because, I mean, think about it. Worst case scenario, if you are so resistant to change that you want your 1920 by 1280 monitor, technically you still have that. You just have an extra, so much
you have more
room
height
up top.
Yeah, you have more height.
Like you can still fit your traditional 1920, by 1440 by 1280, what have you. You can still fit that in your monitor, and then you just have like a little something extra. Which, like if it was me, if I really needed my rectangle monitor, I would make it like that, and then I would have like a for me, iTunes, whatever music player you'd have, I'd have like a music bar up top, or if you're into stocks, you put a stock scrolling, a ticker up top, what have you. There are things you could do to put up there.
Well, they do have these rectangular monitors that will pivot. That was big in the earlier days. I don't know if you can still get those where you can actually. Yeah, they pivot them. They pivot. In other words, you can flip the monitor around so it's
no, that's more of a business thing. Yeah. No, but a square monitor, I'm not going to throw it out just because it's different. But the reason that what we're used to is so popular is because everyone creates content. Movies are shot in, what is it, 9 by 5 or whatever the aspect ratio of movies is. Yeah. Movies, television, what have you, everything is shot in some sort of rectangle resolution.
That's very true.
Nothing is shot in a square resolution.
Nope.
So it's I'd have to try it out, but it doesn't sound like a bad thing.
Well, I'm glad that it's out there because somebody who wants it, it's available to them. They might find a particular.
I haven't seen one before, so this is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But I thought it was interesting. It's something a little different, and if you're looking for a square monitor, IZEA is going to have one. We don't know how much it is, but it'll be available soon, according to them, the first quarter of next year. All right.
Yep. Oh. All right. So only have time for a story or two more, but this one is going to affect everyone who uses Firefox, or at least it will affect Firefox only for the next 5 years. So just a blip. Yahoo will be Firefox's default search engine for the next 5 years. Count them, 5, not 4, not 6, but 5 years.
Why are they doing this?
Because we're going to read about it. So remember when Yahoo was your go-to search engine for browsing the web? Me neither. It might be again soon, at least if you're a Firefox user. Mozilla and Yahoo have just announced a 5-year deal to make Yahoo the web browser's default search engine, supplanting Google as the top item in Firefox's search bar in the United States. Mozilla says that it is part of providing a more quote-unquote local experience. Until now, the company's defaulted to Google search regardless of the user's country.
Wait. I don't like that quote. I think a lot of cash changed hands, and I think that's why.
Oh, for sure. Oh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Wait.
I'm not concerned about the more.
We're going to go into the reasons why. Let's finish it, and then we'll talk about why some of this information may be a little rounded at the corners.
Yeah.
So, until now, the company defaulted to Google search regardless of the user's country. Now the default search engine will be assigned by region. Yahoo for the US, Yandex search for Russia, and Baidu for China. Each country will have the ability to search to other local options as well, giving Googlers a chance to switch back if they so desire. Yahoo's Marissa Mayer says that the deal will allow the two firms to work more closely together on future product integration, a process it's starting with a Yahoo search. Starting in December, Firefox will become the first folks with access to a new, more immersive Yahoo. The promises to have a cleaner, more interactive interface with a heavier focus on personalization. Dedicated to using Google Chrome, but still want in on the new Yahoo? Don't worry, it rolls out to all users in early 2015. Check out the company's announcements, and there's a link in the article below. Again, this one from Engadget. Now, where Craig said "quote unquote" local experience, it was striving to provide its users with a good experience. No, this is straight up a cash deal made between the two companies. And the reason we say that is because there is a statistic out there. That is the reason why Internet Explorer is the most used browser on the internet. Is because whatever comes default on a computer, the average computer user, I'm sure none of our audience, admittedly if you like IE, go for it, but usually for most computer users, whatever the default is on a computer, that's just what they're going to use for the life of that computer. They're not going to go in, they're not going to go and install a different browser, they're not going to go in and change the home page, they're not going to go in and change, and tweak it. It's just whatever is default, they're going to get used to it, and then they're going to use it. So by Yahoo paying Mozilla, I'm sure, exorbitant amounts of money to allow Yahoo to be the first one that pops up whenever they download Mozilla, Yahoo is going to get a lot more web traffic from everyone who uses Mozilla.
Okay.
Like, that is the point of default search engines, is whatever is default in that browser is unanimously the most predominant search engine in that browser. And of course, Google having Google Chrome, I'm sure, Firefox also promoting Google, who is direct competitor to Chrome, probably wasn't the best of business deals anyways.
I don't think so.
So they definitely had to do something. And instead of going out and starting their own, or picking up one of the lesser knowns like DuckDuckGo or what have you, turns out they're just going with Yahoo.
Mm-hmm. Well, there it is.
That's what that was.
Yeah. Do we have time to do one more quick?
You have time for another one.
I do.
You do.
Okay. This is a quick one. This is from Engadget. Evidently, if you're in the military, they have hydrogel injections could increase survival chances for wounded soldiers. I found this kind of interesting. If a team of researchers from MIT and Texas A&M University have their way, wounded soldiers will soon have a better chance of survival. The project is a biodegradable gelatin that once injected helps with blood coagulation, cutting down on blood loss internally. In some trials, the hydrogel decreased the time it took for the blood to clot by 77% after it maneuvered into position. The medical solution is still in the testing phase, but once it's perfected, researchers hope to see soldiers add preloaded syringes packed with the material in their gear arsenals. Wow. The time to get to a medical facility can take a half hour to an hour, and this hour is crucial. It can decide life and death, explains the assistant professor of biomedical engineering at Texas A&M. He says, our material's combination of injectability, rapid mechanical recovery, physiological stability, and the ability to promote coagulation results in a hemostat for treating incompressible wounds in out-of-hospital emergency situations. What's more, the group is currently working to develop the material into a two-stage treatment that aids with the regeneration of tissue as well. So I think it's kind of cool. I mean,
that is the stuff of science fiction movies. Like, whenever someone gets shot by a laser blast or what have you, they inject the wound with,
Well, the laser blast wouldn't be as bad because laser blasts always coagulate it. I mean, cauterize everything that it hits, so you don't really bleed.
So you say, but I've seen plenty of science fiction movies where the force of the impact tears a hole.
Yeah.
And of course, if you ever move, the stricken target, the cauterized flesh tends to break and snap, which then opens the wound back up again. So, aquagel or whatever you're saying, some kind of gel-like material or biofoam that you can inject into the wound, which in real life is actually saving lives, is a good thing.
Yeah, it's a very good thing. I think it's very, very clever, and And again, it's going to be available for the military, and I guess eventually it'll find its way into the consumer market too. You'll be able to go to your local.
I could totally see this being used in ambulances with car crash victims or accident victims. If you have an open wound, you can close it, but if you can inject enough of this gel inside of it, it'll keep the wound essentially closed.
Yeah, exactly. I certainly something viable. I think it's a very, very cool.
But of course, military gets tons of funding, so they get the cool toys first, and then it'll trickle down into, the average ambulance.
Hey, tomorrow night, it's the third Thursday of the month, and we're going to have our all Linux show. Okay, now I'm sorry to say that Larry Bushy, who's been with us for 7 years now, is going to be leaving us at the end of the year in January, and so we have begun to search for a replacement. He can never be replaced, but someone who's going to be.
Is he still going to have his Going Linux podcast?
Yes, he's still going to keep the Going Linux podcast, but evidently his demands for it's just becoming too much for him. And so joining Larry tomorrow night is going to be what we believe
90
will be
seconds.
our next Linux expert, Steve McLaughlin. He's also known as Door-to-Door Geek. And he's going to be with us for a while, and he's going to start being with us, and we're going to see how that goes. And we'll speak with him more tomorrow, and the rest, because we're still going to have an all Linux show here in Computer America. It's really important we need to do that. The topic is going to be the computer operating system doesn't matter anymore, so you should use Linux.
60 seconds.
There it is. And Larry Bushy will be with us tomorrow for both hours. And again, we're going to kind of introduce Steve McLaughlin. He's also known as Door-to-Door Geek. And we're going to have him just for a little while on the show and see how things work out. Again, thanks to Intel for being with us in the first hour, talking about the holiday shopping and the experience that you can get now at Best Buy. It's with their experience zones. So thank you so much for being with us here tonight. And Ben and I will see you on tomorrow night's show.
For sure.
So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
10.
Good night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching us on our Hangouts live video stream. And as I said, all Linux show tomorrow with Larry Bushy and Steve McLaughlin. He's going to be passing the baton over, our Linux expert to Steve. So we'll see you all tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.